Did you get that on?
So generous. I hope we did.
Great. Do you want to talk about toilets?
Hey, babe, I can go anywhere.
Wrath and toilets.
Oh yeah.
And this was like as we were down in Guadalajara, going to a language school every day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, learning
3.5 hours a day learning Spanish. So
yeah.
it was quite the story to tell the next day at school.
Yeah. So when we were living in Guadalajara, which is a big
It's
city,
metropolis,
it's very
10 million.
modern. We had a Starbucks 4 blocks away, you know. So, anyways, I went in our bathroom and I turn around, look in the toilet bowl. I'm like, those are feet in the toilet bowl, little mouse feet, and a mouse. So anyway, so I start freaking out at this point, but I could see just its tail and its feet sticking right, like here's the toilet seat, and here's the mouse right there, like literally that far away from where I had just been sitting. So I start freaking out, and I go into the kitchen, and I'm like silently screaming and just writhing in horror. And so I finally tell Jake, and he puts plastic baggies on his hands and gets a plunger. I don't know, and he goes in there and closes the door, and he's in there for like 10 minutes. What are you doing? Are you doing anything? And he's like, I don't know.
So I couldn't like take any action to do anything for a while, but finally I got up the manliness in me, and I used the plunger to
plunge it to death, and then you can hear the poor thing going. So then I felt bad.
And she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Quiet."
So so it's dead, and he puts it in a clear ragu container so you can see the thing. And I'm looking at the feet, and I'm going, that is a rat. Those are rat hands, those are rat feet. And Guillermo, our landlord, he goes, yeah, that is a rat. That is a rat. You know what that is? That's a sewer rat. The thing had come up the toilet and was sitting there. Sewer rat, that far away.
Well, there was a time, and I guess the right word would probably be conviction over our hearts, and we had felt like God had wanted us to take some time just to pray as a couple. It wasn't something that we were doing much of, and so we said, okay, God, we'll do this. And so I don't know, it was Saturday night or something, and we just kind of did that. And there's a verse in the book of Proverbs. It says, delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. And I never really understood that until this time. But during this time, all these things, these passions and desires from Renee and I, individually and together, just started to rise up in our hearts. And one of those things was Spanish. That was just one of the things, but it kind of led us on that journey of realizing those passions, those desires that God had placed within us, but that He wasn't going to force in us, but He wanted us to kind of refine them. So we began to say yes to Spanish, and not really knowing what that meant, but just kind of said, okay, God, we'll walk forward in this and help us along the way. We don't know what we're doing with it, how we should approach it, but as we said yes to Spanish, just this overwhelming desire and realization that we both had a dream to live in a Spanish-speaking country. And so that was kind of the beginning of like a 1.5 year journey of saying yes, not knowing what it would look like at all. So that kind of began the journey of moving to Guadalajara, Mexico, and spending 9 months learning Spanish. And I guess fast forward those 9 months, and kind of here we are today, kind of on the cusp of a whole new transition. And we're pretty familiar with transitions now. It used to be a whole lot more adventurous. So we sit here, and in a few days we hop on a plane to North Carolina to be part of an internship there, where we're going to be learning about how life and ministry is done effectively in Latin America. And once we get to Guatemala, there's a 5-acre parcel of land
in a little town outside of Guatemala City, the capital. It's 45 minutes outside of town.
It's called Pocotillo. It's a town of about 9,000 people, Mayan in descent, and it's kind of going to be a ministry facility. So in this town, there's not a lot of stuff to assist this town. We don't know why at this point, but for instance, there's no affordable medical clinic or hospital or anything like that. There is a clinic, but it's just not affordable. So people who are indigenous and campesinos, kind of like the farmers, they don't have a lot of money to do this. So one of the things that this ministry facility will have is a medical clinic that will be free and that will be available for people. Another thing that the community lacks is a secondary school for children. So they go up to 6th grade and then it's kind of the end of their school journey. 724 students, and they don't have any more room to expand. Some classes have 60 or 70 students in them with one teacher, so it's just pretty crazy. Yeah, let's go have a look. God has certainly asked us to come on an adventure with Him, and from before we left to now, we can really see His hand in all that we've done, and it hasn't been exactly all that we had thought it was going to be. It's been His, and it's been really good at the same time, because the plans that He gave us haven't necessarily flowed exactly how they were going to go, but the main components of them have.
So far our time here has been really, really good. Our goal was to come and to establish relationships and to get to know the community of Hokotio. Weird to think we've only been here for about 6 weeks. It feels like longer. And so we're looking forward to it, looking forward to seeing how things go. With Josiah, everything's going really good with the baby. No complications, nothing. God's been good, and so we're looking for August 14th. Should be the day, and we're excited about that.
But probably, I mean, the thing that excites us the most and for us is where we're going to spend most of our time, is in the development of a healthy, thriving church. Wow, how God's kind of taken both of us on journeys individually and together to see that without the church being there, it's not complete. And so we're really excited about that, and really excited about how it's going to happen. And just dreaming and planning and praying into how that might be now, and just kind of waiting to see how things develop. So.